Perkenalkan, saya Anindya Soekarni, saya founder dan CEO dari Mimosa, sebuah perusahaan yang bergerak di bidang desain dan fashion di Indonesia. Kami berkantor di Jakarta Selatan. Fashion adalah hasrat saya, passion saya, di mana kami ingin memberikan manfaat baik dari kami sebagai pemilik jenama fashion maupun masyarakat secara umum. Cek, 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 cek. Cek.
His Excellency Mahendra Siregar, Vice Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. Excellencies, Mr. Iputu Astawa, Head of Bali Province Tourism Office, distinguished panelists and moderator, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, salam kebajikan, peace be upon us all. Allow me to begin this event with wishing you a good health. It is an honor for us to welcome you at Road to Bali Democracy Forum, the 13th Economic Pillar, that is held on 5 to 6 November 2020 in Seminyak, Bali. The event is held in a hybrid format where several panelists, moderator, and participants are present on the spot, while more than 150 participants joining us via Zoom and YouTube live streaming. Bearing a theme empowerment of MSMEs for an inclusive and sustainable economic recovery, for 2 days, the event provides a forum of sharing experiences and best practices, led by competent panelists from all over the world. Before we proceed, allow me to invite all the participants to keep the program running well by muting themselves online. Ladies and gentlemen, to begin this event, I would like to invite Mr. Agustaviano Sofian, Director for Development, Economic and Environmental Affairs of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, and the Head Coordinator of the Economic Pillar to deliver opening report. Director Agustaviano Sofian, the floor is yours.
His Excellency, Vice Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, Bapak Mahendra Siregar, Deputy for Production and Marketing, Ministry of Cooperative and SMEs, Ibu Victoria Simanungkalit, Head of Bali Tourism Office, Bapak Iputu Astawa, Executive Director of NAM Center, Ambassador Diar Nurbiantoro, distinguished speakers and moderator, ladies and gentlemen, on-site and online, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Om Swastiastu, and a very good afternoon to all of us. I'm very honored to welcome you all at this hybrid meeting here in Bali. For all our participants here on site in Bali, we shall follow strict health protocols by physical distancing and wearing our masks or face shield. I'm also very happy to once again welcome the presence of our special guest, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, who is here with us on site despite his busy schedules. Terima kasih, Bapak. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as coordinator of the economic pillar of the 13th Bali Democracy Forum 2020, our theme this year is empowerment of MSMEs for an exclusive and sustainable economic recovery. We have chosen this theme as we think it would be appropriate and timely to discuss this issue in these challenging times. The COVID-19 global pandemic is not only a health emergency concern, but have also impacted the social economic aspect globally. And we are all here facing this challenge together. Our business has been disrupted, and as we continue to adapt with our new normal and new ways of process and new mindsets in all sectors of business. This includes micro, small, medium enterprises, which accumulates over 90% of business and employs over 50% workforce around the world, according to World Bank data. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this year, the second year since the establishment of the economic pillar of Bali Democracy Forum, last year we held the first BDF economic pillar event in 2019 with the theme of financial inclusion. At that event, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia and Bank Rakyat Indonesia, BRI, signed an MOU cooperation to support MSMEs in developing countries through enhancing capacities and training programs. This year is a follow-up of the aforementioned MOU and to support the sustainable and inclusive economic recovery, in which we are holding this event right now. This event is part of the series Road to the 13th Bali Democracy Forum, to be held next month in early December. What we are doing today is part of a democratic process where all stakeholders work together to be part of the solution against the COVID-19 crisis. We believe a strong and resilient economy that delivers prosperity and development to the people will contribute to the effort of strengthening democracy. We are holding this event in Bali, in which micro, small, medium enterprises are most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, especially the tourism sector. Through this event, we hope to contribute positively to the speedy recovery of MSMEs, not just here in Bali, but also to the rest of Indonesia and in our BDF participant countries. We have conducted our event since yesterday and to be followed by today. At day one yesterday, we have discussed policies to support MSMEs in times of pandemic in Indonesia. We also shared some tips and tricks for survival, including leveraging digital technology. Some key message from yesterday's discussions, among others, to ensure that recovery policies need to be applied effectively and synergy between all stakeholders to supporting micro, small, medium enterprises, particularly the role of banking and financial services institutions. MSMEs must also move quickly to adapt to the growing situations and finding lasting solutions. The crisis has shown that most effective way of surviving the crisis is through digitalization, as it cuts space, time, and cost of promotion of goods and services. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, from yesterday and today's event, we have noted over 850 registered participants from various backgrounds, from business and MSME sector, government, and other relevant stakeholders. This shows the high enthusiasms of all participants in this issue. And today, we look forward, and today we will explore strategies and best practices from BDF participant countries, and we are very fortunate to have all the distinguished speakers on site and online. And we look forward for your guidance, new ideas by sharing your country's experience and best practices. As an outcome of this event, we expect to launch the Bali Economic Resilience Network. And so this event would not be a one-stop event, but we hope to see concrete deliverables and programs in future as the third pillar of BDF. In closing my report, I would like to thank again to all parties who have supported this event, particularly the organizers from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in close cooperation with the Ministry of Cooperatives and SMEs of Indonesia and Bank Rakyat Indonesia, who have worked together to have our hybrid meeting here in Bali to run smoothly and successfully. Let's make Bali Democracy Forum benefit to us all. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Agustaviano Sofian. Excellencies, distinguished panelist moderator, ladies and gentlemen, now allow me to invite His Excellency Mahendra Siregar, Vice Minister of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, to deliver a special message. His Excellency, you may please take the floor.
Very good morning, very good afternoon, and very good evening to all participants of the Bali Democracy Forum, the economic pillar. and I'm very happy and very delighted to be here. Ibu Victoria Simanungkalit, the Deputy Minister of Small and Medium Enterprises Ministry, the head of Bali Tourism Office, and of course, the distinguished speakers from Thailand, Canada, Fiji, and Bank Rakyat Indonesia, Indonesian state-owned bank. I'm very pleased to be here to make this remark on this very important topic, empowering micro, small, and medium enterprises at the 13th Bali Democracy Forum for Economic Pillar. Let me start by saying that the COVID-19 has changed us and every one of us, including the business and the business activities. And that is why we now organize this meeting in a hybrid format. At least there are two reasons why we do it here in Bali physically, while at the same time we conduct the virtual meeting through online. First, we must understand that the virus, the COVID-19, might kill people and have already killed a large number of people around the world. But at the same time, we also need to remember that lockdowns would definitely kill livelihood of the people. So it is up to us not to contradict one with the other. Both are equally important, and we need to ensure that we keep on improving our healthcare services, our capacity in addressing the COVID-19, so that the economic activities could continue. The second reason why we have to organize this meeting partially in Bali and the other part through online platform is because Bali has given so much to Indonesia. Bali has given so much to the world, and Bali has given so much to international events, diplomacy, and other global activities. You just remember how many important documents, historical events took place in Bali. Within ASEAN itself, we have the so-called Bali Concord I and Bali Concord II. In many international events, including the United Nations at the very global level, we have many Bali declarations in sustainable development, in climate, in peace, in many economic, social activities. And in bilateral, in business, in social, so many places, so many events taken place in Bali, and make use of the Bali to improve and to increase the strength of the document, the outcomes of the meetings. So Bali has given so much to us. But now Bali needs us. And there's no way the world should turn its back to Bali. Why? Because I've been briefed that basically 80% of Bali's small, medium, and micro enterprises have either faced a very challenging situation or already collapsed. Only 10% of its hotels, and even less, are still in operation and have occupants. The rest, there are in partial or permanent closure. And for the first time in many decades, we now see there is no direct international flight coming in and out of Bali. This is something that we would never imagine before or ever. But then again, this is the new reality that we have to live with. But it is one thing that we learn, we hear, we listen to this new reality. It is another thing we do something about it. And this forum, with its name, Bali Democracy Forum, has to do something about it. Otherwise, we should change the name. Of course, at the global level, the same situation, similar circumstances are also taking place. Globally, there are 90% of micro and small medium enterprises that have employed over 50% of global workforce. And in Indonesia, there are 60% of the business enterprises comprised of the micro and small medium enterprises, which is the most severely impacted by the pandemic and its lockdowns. And of course, this number would continue increase if we take into account the informal sector. Therefore, when we talk, we discuss, we deliberate about the livelihood, the prospect of micro, small, and medium enterprises, we discuss that most important aspect within democracy and a pillar of democracy. Because the small and medium enterprises represent the real and broad grassroots of many, many countries and economies and deliver social economic benefit to sustain democracies. When there is no prosperity at the grassroots level, democracies are not sustainable. And therefore, the health and the progress of the micro and small medium enterprises ecosystem can only serve as a barometer of democratic resilience. Ladies and gentlemen and participants to this very important event, the pandemic is the most formidable global challenges since the World War II. And you have seen so many forecasts and predictions suggesting that we might have more severe and much longer impact of the pandemic than we hoped before. For Indonesia, the crisis has interrupted one of the world's most consistently growing economies over the past decade. And we expect to experience negative 1.5% to 2% growth of this year. We are still very hopeful that next year the economy will rebound strongly in the region of 5.5%. But then again, as I indicated earlier, we have to be ready with the worst case scenario. For the micro and small medium enterprises, a crisis of this scale highlights the fact that this sector is both the victims and also the hope of social and economic recovery. If we want to hasten our recovery efforts, they must be placed in the center of our policies. Based on the experience of Indonesia, allow me to share some reflections on how we can support micro, small, and medium enterprises during this crisis. First and foremost, as I indicated, we have to be very aware the impact of lockdowns and partial lockdowns to this sector. And the WHO themselves has indicated the lockdowns would do more harm to developing countries than otherwise. Second, micro and small medium enterprises should look to adopt the digital economy platforms as the new marketplace. We have witnessed many success stories of this. And the pandemic, despite mostly grim for most sectors, but for this particular sector that can adapt and make use of the digital economic platform, have improved their performance in the last few months. In this regard, it is very key to provide assistance and capacity building for the micro, small, and medium enterprises to support their transition to the digital economy. Governments have a strong role in this, but equally important is the role of autonomous business networking communities or the startup communities. The government's role are to provide the conducive environment and ecosystem. And at the same time, we improve the micro and small medium enterprises' ease of doing business. Second, we should also support this sector expansion and access to finance. Micro and small medium enterprises are traditionally face significant obstacle to access conventional and traditional financing. In Indonesia, the role of government to facilitate more financing for this sector have been significant, and including the government guarantee loans, such as the Kredit Usaha Rakyat, the program that is mandatory to provide lending requirement to all commercial banks. And as part of the National Economic Recovery Package, the government has allocated more than 120 trillion rupiahs, equivalent to 8.5 billion US dollars, to support micro and small medium enterprises. To maximize the opportunities to enhance the financing for the micro, small, and medium enterprises, we should continue supporting the development of a healthy, safe, and sustainable sector for digital financial services. In Indonesia, an important development in this respect is the establishment of a national payment gateway system, which still need to be improved and even further provide access to medium, small, and micro enterprises. Promoting digital financial services should also be seen as serving financial inclusion objectives, and to reach the unbanked and the unbankable micro, small, and medium enterprises, digital tools offer solutions in establishing branchlessness banking or agent banking, particularly in rural areas. As an illustration, the ADB noted that Indonesia adults with mobile money accounts rose from 0.4% of the population in 2014 to 3.1% in 2017. Therefore, further growth is promising, and the pandemic is accelerating this process. Fourth, the deregulation and decreasing red tape are still major impediments for the MSMEs, particularly in ensuring their growth and graduation to become larger corporations. On this note, and despite the political noises and loud critics to the law, the Indonesian government has enacted law on job creation, which we also call as the Omnibus Law, which symbolizes our commitment and serious efforts in this direction. Economists, particularly for small and medium enterprises, are the major targets for the beneficiary of this law. Last, the lack of access to the global value chain. Despite the high numbers of the micro and small medium enterprises in Indonesia and in the world, there is small percentage for its contribution to exports and imports. According to the OECD, the MSMEs can plug into these value chains by supplying, sourcing from, or partnering with multinationals, national companies, and even becoming more active multinational themselves. Our economic diplomacy in Indonesia and collaboration in Bali Democracy Framework could present to empower MSMEs by establishing a network to share knowledge, capacity, and best practices. Ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, these are just some of our reflections on the issue of MSMEs and how they face the situation of crisis today. And Bali is certainly give us the best potential pilot that we will win this situation. And for that, I would like to thank the BDF organizers that have chosen this issue as a theme for the economic pillar this year, and it is very timely. It should take place in all countries around the world because this is a matter of survival of democracy itself. Democracies grow stronger if entrepreneurship and job creation are sustained. Democracies and prosperity must go hand in hand. They are mutually reinforcing. And during this pandemic, supporting MSMEs is a must and should be considered as democratic imperative. I certainly look forward to the outcomes of this discussion today and invite us all to learn from one another in the exchange of best practices. I hope you all have a successful and fruitful discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency Mahendra Siregar, Vice Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. Excellencies, distinguished panelists and moderator, ladies and gentlemen. Now allow me to invite Ibu Victoria Simanungkalit, Deputy for Production and Marketing, Ministry of Cooperative and SMEs, to deliver welcoming remark. Ibu Victoria, you may please take the floor.
His Excellency Mr. Mahendra Siregar, Vice Minister of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, Excellencies, all speakers, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu. Good afternoon to all of us. First of all, I would like to sincerely appreciate the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for organizing the 13th Bali Democracy Forum, Empowerment of Micro and SMEs for an Inclusive and Sustainable Economic Recovery, which we held on 5th until 6th November 2020 in Bali. I believe this event would open the opportunity for SMEs, both Indonesian SMEs as well as BDF partner countries, to share knowledge, gain experience, and create network. Moreover, strengthen a relationship as the way to survive between all stakeholders in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic and our recovery efforts in an inclusive and sustainable manner. Excellency and distinguished delegates, this year 2020 has been incredibly challenging for the global community. The spread of COVID-19 has led to unparalleled health crisis in countries across the world. The crisis has created unprecedented and serious impact on all aspects of how people communicate, work, produce, trade, consume, and life in general. The SMEs tend to be vulnerable during the economic crisis. In part, they have fewer resources with which to adapt to a changing context. The Asian Development Bank survey has gathered information on how the pandemic affected Indonesian SMEs. About 30% SMEs said there is shutting down permanently. Domestic demand dropped in 40% of SMEs. Supply disruption in over 30% of SMEs, and around 60% SMEs reduce employees every month. To address fundamental challenges in the global economy, the new normal can be one that emphasizes resilience to change and unexpected shocks, embrace the possibilities offered by digitalization, prioritizes inclusiveness, and leads to sustainable growth. On the demand side, Indonesia government has allocated 123.46 trillion rupiah. It's about $1.3 billion to aid small businesses and cooperatives, include SMS credit restructuring, aid to poor and vulnerable household, tax incentive, and credit for businesses during the health crisis as part of its larger stimulus package of 695.2 trillion rupiah. Excellency and distinguished delegates, the COVID-19 crisis may be accelerating the trend towards e-commerce. Based on the McKinsey and Company finding that online spending has increased 30% during pandemic. Towards buying behavior of consumer as well as businesses change, SMEs may have to digitalize in adapting to the realities of market and remain competitive. In addition to fiscal and monetary intervention, Ministry of Cooperatives and SMEs have in certain contexts worked with stakeholders in promoting the use of digital solutions to help SMEs remain in businesses as following. First, e-learning program for SMEs to improve human resources and product through edukaukm.id. Second, big company partnership program for SMEs, special training for SMEs to become digital marketers. Third, government spending for SMEs product through government procurement page with the potential transaction reaching 321 trillion rupiah. Fourth, cooperation between Ministry of Cooperatives and Smes with Ministry State-Owned Enterprises or BUMN, promoting SMEs product consumption through spending of state-owned enterprises for both goods and services with the value less than 14 billion rupiah. The last one, SMEs onboarding through digital catalog and a brochure. Finally, I would like to recognize and congratulate the committee in the commencement of this event. I hope Bali Democracy Forum 2020 will be a success and significantly contribute to overall economic recovery. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi 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 Om.
Thank you very much, Ibu Victoria. Excellencies, distinguished panelists and moderator, ladies and gentlemen. Now it is a time for a virtual photo session. So allow me to invite all of the Zoom participants as well as the participants on the spot here to turn your camera on. I would also like to request the help from the committee to take a picture of everybody in the Zoom. Okay, so it will take a minute, I think, because we have several pages of participants here. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Next one. Next page, please. Okay, the next page is 1, 2, 3, smile, please. Okay, the next page. Today we have around 70 to 85 participants join us in the Zoom. So yes, smile please. And one more time. Last page. Smile please. Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Excellencies, distinguished panelists and moderator, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are stepping to the plenary session, which will discuss the empowerment of MSMEs for an inclusive and sustainable economic recovery. This session will be led by author writer, Mr. Wayan Juniarte, journalist of Jakarta Post. We are also honored to have two speakers who are present on site, Mr. Iputu Astawa and Mr. Ari Bayuaji. 5 other speakers will join us online from Jakarta, Fiji, and Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, allow me to invite our moderator today, Mr. Wayan Juniarte, as well as two speakers who are on site, Mr. Iputu Astawa and Mr. Ari Bayuaji, to take the stage. Please welcome our moderator of the day and also our speakers.
I would like to invite two panelists here to join me on the stage. My dear friend Ari Bayuaji and the head of Bali Tourism Office, Bapak Putu Astawa. Thank you, Ari. Good afternoon, distinguished speakers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us in the plenary session of the economic pillar for the 13th Bali Democracy Forum. We will explore the theme on the empowerment of micro, mediums, and small enterprises into sustainable and inclusive economic recovery. First of all, as a Balinese, I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation toward His Excellency Mahendra Siregar, the Vice Minister for the Indonesian Foreign Affairs Ministry, for his kind words to my home island of Bali. Thank you, Bapak. That means a lot. And the fact that the ministry has still committed to conduct the 13th Bali Democracy Forum in Bali physically. For me as a Balinese, it's just like a glimmer of light in the end of a long, dark tunnel, which is the 7 months of bad experience for this island, suffering the terrible impact, economic impact, sociological impacts of this pandemic. So once again, His Excellency, thank you very much. Distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, today we will have a very diverse panels. We have representatives from the governments, the central governments, and also the local Bali administration. We have a speaker from the finance sectors. We have speakers from private sectors. And the thing that really delighted me is that we have speakers from the creative field. We have one visual artist, one right now arguably one of the leading Indonesian visual artists. So in the last 7 months, the COVID-19 pandemic has forced us to reimagine the way, not only the way we conduct our business, but also the important way through which we view this world. The COVID-19 pandemic knows no border. It doesn't acknowledge races. It practically the universal existential threat that all human race have to deal with right now. It makes us to begin to think as one single human race. It forces us to begin to view the nation state, the borders, as something of the past. And this is the kind of things that we need to explore in relation with how the governments help and support micro, medium, and small enterprises. And I would like first to introduce our distinguished panels. We will have Her Excellency Victoria Boru Simanung Khalid, who just earlier gave her speech, the Deputy for Production and Marketing for Ministry of Cooperative and SMEs. Then from Thailand, we will have Mr. Dr. Sukit Warmaha Charun. He is the Chief of Matric Academy, but I also learned that Mr. Sukit for the last decade has been very active in assisting small and medium enterprises in Thailand. So it will be very interesting to learn about his perspective. Then we have Mr. Dani Wildan, Vice President for Social Entrepreneurship and Incubation Division from BRI, Bank Rakyat Indonesia, currently the largest bank in terms of assets in Indonesia. Then we will have Mr. Putu Astawa, who present physically here, the head of Bali Tourism Office, arguably the most stressed out government officer in Bali, because he witnessed firsthand how an industry that basically the economic backbone for 4.5 million of Balinese residents has been decimated, totally decimated by the pandemic. Then from Fiji, we will have Mrs. Api Kurusiga, the director for Lapita Marketing in Fiji. This is a private partnership enterprises that focus on providing in wholesale and retails well-being products locally grown and locally produced in Fiji. Then we will have from Jakarta, Mr. Italo Gani, the managing director of Impacto. So Mr. Italo Gani, in the last 2 decades, has been actively involved in providing assistance in creating Indonesian tech startups. And the last one is a dear friend of mine, Mr. Ari Bayuaji, Indonesian-born, Bali-based, sometimes Canada-based visual artist, who is currently doing a massive project in the southern coastal area of Bali. So without further ado, I would like to invite Her Excellency Victoria Boru Simanungkalit. Good afternoon, Ibu.
Good afternoon, Pak.
Thank you for joining us. And I would like to ask you
Yes.
the overall pictures of the impact of the pandemic to our SMEs in Indonesia. What is the current pictures of our SMEs? Silakan Ibu. Halo Ibu. I think we are experiencing a glitch. So Pak Dani Wildan atau I will ask the question. So we will not wait until the glitch recover. I will just move on to the next speakers. Dr. Sukit. Hello, Dr. Sukit.
Hello, how are you?
Hi. So I would like to ask you, what is the impact of the pandemic to the Thailand SMEs? What is the current picture, the current condition over there, Dr. Sukit?
Okay. Since the Q1, the economic in Thailand is now on the new parliament, and you know that we have the new parliament, the new election, and now we're booming to boost up the economic. Since the Q1, all the pandemic are spread out, all the country are no move. Let's say let's still. One of the big thing is because we are the labor intensive team. Most of the country are rural people that migrate into the urban area like Bangkok, some main city. They cannot earning anything with the boss, with the owner of the company. The scarcity is they are waiting for the way to move until the government say it's locked down. You cannot go to any place. But most of the people are moved back to their home without any money on the reservation, on the reserve, on their pocket of the family. The key is that is we call maybe like the shock period for a month or 2 months until the team of the medical doctor, this national medical doctor team come and give how to solve the problem. there's only two things that happen, and good sign for it is we call up the best team of the medical doctor around the country to be the back of the team. And the second, most of the council, like the Chamber of Councils, Federation of Thailand Industry, are team up and talk how to do the best instruction to resolve, to resolution this problem. So if I give the percentage of this problem of pandemic and the resolution, I give them about the B grade, not an A, not an C. B is fine for me. This is a basic initial for me. Thank you.
So, do you think the condition will getting better in the near future, Dr. Sukit?
I hope so. I pray for God. I pray for myself, and even Thailand is quite lucky that our King Rama IX have been planning this one back behind and call up the plan already. And I think most of the people are put into the bed discipline. Go over the place, wear the mask, go over the place, check the temperature. They do and wash the hand very seriously. That's why the good results until today quite on the better condition since the first Q1. Now the Q4, that near the New Year Eve, Christmas Eve, everyone waiting to celebrate. But we have heard some bad news that there are some illegal immigrants from the nearby country, smuggle and sneak in, migrate into the country near the border. That is the way that we are waiting, not the second wave come. Hope so. So I can guarantee that with the best condition, we are getting better, but not on the safe zone, not on the safe zone.
Thank you, Dr. Sukit. I will get back to you later on with more questions.
Yes.
Right now, I think we already have a good connection with Her Excellency Deputy Minister. Ibu sudah bisa didengar?
Sorry for the unstable our internet. Okay, I will continue my present. Okay.
Ya, silakan Ibu.
Yes. I have said that Indonesian small and micro SMEs is the backbone of Indonesian economy. Also in 1998 and 2008, Indonesian SMEs is do as a hero and survive during the economic crisis. But now in the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, they become one of those who get the hit hardest by the fallout of the pandemic. And according to the ADB funding, outbreak impacts on micro and SMEs are, the big one is 61% decrease of employees, 48.6% temporary closed, and then 30.5% drop in domestic demand. And this finding is same with our surveys, our ministry surveys. The fact is the 22.9% SMEs drop in their demand, and also delay in distribution 20.1%, and also disruption of production, fund issue, and supply barriers. This one, the problem of the SMEs when the pandemic 19 occurred in our country, in Indonesia.
Thank you, Bu. Yeah, I remember that in the economic crisis in 1998, our SMEs managed to ride the wave. And
Yes.
they turned out to be one of the most resilient economic actors in the country.
Yes.
Do you think the same thing will also happen in this pandemic?
No, it's different. Before, the economic crisis is an financial crisis. Not at all. But now, the crisis is at all sectors, healthy, financial, and also business. So our SMEs cannot continue their business.
Thank you, Ibu. Now I would like to ask Pak Dani Wildan. Pak Dani, how high MSMEs lies in BRI charts of priority?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So, BRI has long-standing history for providing micro, small, medium financial services. And last year, we hold up like around 79% is SME sectors or segment. So now we are continue to focus on MSME segments. So I can give some information about how this pandemic hit our customers or our debtors during pandemic. I can give you some example because I have some record of our field officer activities in March, the month of March. Our activities is heavily on business expanding. I can tell you it's about like 85% for business expanding. But in April, the business activity is decreased and only 20% for business expansion and the rest for loan restructuring. But start from June, the numbers are going better when business activity now rise up into 65%, and then even in July the numbers are better into 87%. So hopefully in that picture we see some optimistic for especially micro segment. They can like recover better than other segment. Maybe that's it.
Thank you, Pak Dani. But I would like to know what kind of special programs that BRI has launched to help these sectors.
Okay. As the agent of development, we are ultimate partners for government, including the Minister of the Ibu Victoria there in cooperative and MSME. So at least we have list here. We did some loan restructuring for more than 2 million borrowers supported by government, and then we disbursed for more than 7.1 million borrowers. The other program we did is was to give the loan guarantee for 2,300 more borrowers, and then we can say also there's some really good program from SME Ministry. We have bantuan produktif usaha mikro or productive assistant for micro segments for totally 9.1 million target, and Bank Rakyat Indonesia we ourselves have like more than 5 million target. So there's several programs we did with the government to support the micro segments surviving, facing this crisis of economic crisis.
Thank you, Pak Dhani. Now I would like to ask our on-site speakers, Bapak Putu Astawa, the head of Bali Tourism Office. Not many people knows that Balinese tourism industry is not only based on resort or transnational companies, but also a large number of medium, small, and micro enterprises. Pak Putu, what is the impact of this pandemic to Bali's tourism industry?
Yes, thank you, Pak Juni. Your Excellencies, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bapak Mr. Mahendra Siregar, and also distinguished guest speaker or honorable webinar participant this afternoon. Yeah, according in your question, as you know that the economic Bali development has become from the three part. Yeah, the first one come from the tourism industry, of course, and the second one come from the agriculture, and the last one from the small and medium enterprises. But according to the pandemic of COVID-19, we lost the tourists here, of course. Especially every year, we have more than 6 million international tourists come to Bali every year. And the local tourists around 10.5 million. So that the number around 20 million. We lost the demand. And after that, especially on the industry of hotel and also transportation, guide, of course, and shop souvenir, also they lost the income. Yeah, that's the facing on the pandemic COVID. Yeah, and depend on our government to effort. Yeah, the first one we should be management of the COVID-19 to make decrease. Yeah. And the second one, we try to economic recovery because it's depend on the preference of the tourists. They really awareness with the, what we say, like cleanliness, healthy, safety, and environmental, of course. And after that, according in our government, we do the certification for the all industry, like in hotel, restaurant, of course, until the destination object. With our government official on its regency, we do the, what we say, like verification for the protocol of the healthy protocol, something like that. And until now, we do already 677 industry we already certificated, yeah. And depend on the budget from the national government, especially on the tourism, national tourism minister, they support me some budget to implement it for the CHSE, we call the Cleanliness, Healthy, Safety, and Environment certificate. And we mobilizing the local tourism in Bali. And then they upload on the media, social media, what the industry do for the protocol, healthy protocol. And then they upload to the social media. And after that, we can promote that's Bali safe for travel. And of course, the other side, we have the lesson learned from the goods for the pandemic COVID. Yeah, we realized that not only one sector, we should be depend on the economic development, something like tourism, yeah. But in the future, agriculture, I think that's more important, including the SMS, of course. We should be protect, yeah, how to protect them, and they can contribute to the diversification of the income from any kind of economic development, I think. Pak John.
Thank you, Pak Putu Astawa. So basically, the local government with the assistance from the central government,
yes,
right now helping the local hotel to
yes,
certify their health procedure and protocol.
Yes.
Okay, now I would like to ask Mrs. Api Kurusiga in Fiji. Hello, Mrs. Api. So I don't think Mrs. Api is online.
Yes, Bula Vinaka from Fiji.
Hi. I didn't see your visual. Can you have that
visual?
Just this one.
So, Mrs. Api.
Yeah.
Pardon my ignorance. We don't have much information about Fiji, except that it is a gorgeous country. So I would like to ask you, what is the specific characteristic of micro, small, and medium enterprises in Fiji?
Well, majority of the SMEs, MSMEs in Fiji are very, very small. They operate from home. They pay cash to start off a little business. They find it very difficult to get loans from the bank to start them off. Most of them don't employ anybody. So it's either them and the family that live with them. And if they do employ, which is probably a medium enterprise, they may employ something like 3 to 5 people, depending on what sort of demand they have. One thing too about the MSMEs in Fiji is they take a long time to move from micro to small and from small to medium. So it takes a while to push them to the next level. And I think we found that it's the soft skills of business that they don't have. And I think that is something that we have found with this pandemic that we have a number of donors and we have a number of Chamber of Commerces and Employees Council that have come on board to help the MSMEs in Fiji to keep on churning what it is that they're doing. The one thing that I've found myself is most of the people that have been working, that are out of jobs right now, find it very difficult to continue earning. But then I found that most of the MSMEs that have been running their business for a while, they're taking leaps and bounds quite ahead. Even though they went to school maybe as far as year 8 or year 10, they didn't have that sort of education. But I think they're very skilled to move on. And I think with the assistance of the Chamber of Commerces, the assistance of the CSOs, the civil societies, and the non-government organization, the NGOs, who are able to handhold them and move them. And I think this is where I found that when the demand starts to drop, the MSMEs were able to carry on doing what they're doing. And maybe because they're not in real competition with the real world. If I am talking about the food and beverage sector, they're able to sell, even though the demand is low, they sell at a lower price until a much later time when they realize that, oh, I have space to move. Now, the one thing too about MSMEs in Fiji, they found it difficult to attract funding from the banks. So there are a number of microfinance people in Fiji, organizations that are able to help them simply because they're not able to get a loan from the bank, but they're skilled at what they're doing. So what we do is we teach them, we handheld them so that they can move to the next level. I just came back from a graduation where we graduated about 20 MSMEs, well, micro businesses and small businesses, by teaching them for the last 6 to 8 months. And we see leaps and bounds in what they're doing. And I can tell you now that I think from August, things were starting to open up a bit for the MSMEs. We now found that some of the MSMEs are able to export. They were never able to export all this time. But this time, a number of MSMEs that I know, including myself, were able to export to the US. So that's the market as it is. But they need a lot of training. They need to be followed through so that they're able to take the next steps. Most of them don't have capitals to start off their business. You know, they start with something small, they employ their own family. That's the MSMEs that we have here. Most live in the village, most live in little settlements that are out here in Suva. That's the MSME market here in Suva, in Fiji in total.
Thank you, Mrs. Api. It's really interesting and to certain extents make us more optimistic that MSMEs in Fiji is more resilient in adapting and in soldiering the effect of the pandemic. Now I would like to ask Mr. Italo Gani.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello, Mas Italo.
Hello,
So,
Mas.
you are a specialist in a disruptive technology. And I believe the pandemic is one of the most influential disruptive event in our contemporary history. So I would like to ask you how the digital technology, how the technological startup could provide a good example for MSMEs in dealing with the impact of the pandemic.
Yeah, so I think when we have this pandemic, the thing that we should do, we need to be empower the social distancing. When you talk about social distancing, it's all about anything that we need to be doing remotely. So based on my 2-decade experience working with startups, and this is like the second, there is in 98 and 2000, this is the first wave of startups, and 2000 was the dot-com crash. And then in 2011, when actually Tokopedia started, Gojek started, there is this second wave. And I can say that there is no such country like Indonesia as ready as Indonesia, because we have GoFood, we have Gojek, we have Tokopedia before the COVID. If we don't have Gojek, I don't know how many FMBs, SMEs will suffer. And also, actually, I never see other countries like Indonesia have like solution like a GoFood solution when you can help the FMBs industry to keep the business. And there is other startup like, for example, Yummy Corp, who do the cloud kitchen to help small medium startup to become a food delivery ready, you know. And this is actually very interesting. The digital transformation now, it's not a jargon anymore. I think any companies, including SMEs, need to be transformed digitally, because only through digital we can empower, we can still grow the economy by giving all these remote-based activities. What I mentioned about remote-based learning through Ruang Guru, remote-based e-commerce through Tokopedia or GoFood or other things. So remote-based meetings, anything remote-based. So I think us in Startup Laws, actually now is the best time to empower the economy. And I think there is other companies like Halodoc also actually helping in health sectors. So I think we need more startup to help, you know. In the context, for example, Tokopedia, last year, William reported that he contributed 1.5 of Indonesian GDP. Now with Tokopedia, they have already, last year, they have already 5 million merchants. Now it's so easy to open a store and selling products. But even there is so much other potential from the SMSE. Probably the one that maybe Tokopedia is too sophisticated. There is other startup like, for example, a company called Bolu, who do online education for SMSE for female in the case of Fiji. So in the Bolu, for example, they have 14,000 students. I just checked the founder this morning. Current last month they have 2,600 students. Everybody having an online course about how to set up a store online. Everybody happened on WhatsApp group. So you just require just a handphone with the data, and then you can learn how to set up a store in Tokopedia or a store in TikTok or a store in Facebook. So it's so easy. So actually, there's so much interesting startup that's happening in Indonesia right now to empower the SMEs. Yeah. So other for financial also, I think the BRI also starting to build more technology like fintech technology to do credit scoring and other fintech companies. So I think nowadays with our ecosystem, now we have more payment channels. We have Link Aja, we have GoPay, we have OVO, and then we have logistic companies. We keep building the network, and we have e-commerce. I think the challenge now is the digital literacy for SMEs to understand how to onboarding themselves to online. Yeah, but I think we have all the ingredients now to start the economy. But in the context of tourism, it is challenging. I've been talking a lot with Traveloka. They try to build like online experience, but it's totally different when you go to Bali and experience having a cooking class than having a cooking class online. But company like Traveloka, like Airbnb also started to build that. Maybe in the context, Mas Ari as an artist also, it's also challenging how to commerce the works probably, but I think digital transformation, it happened to anybody, and this government for the past 10 years has been supporting the growth of digital economy, and I think Pa Mahendra also understand very well about the digital economy, and I think through technology we can also very empower Indonesia economy.
Thank you, Mas Italo. And you clearly made several important points. Digital economy is basically both a necessity and a certainty. And the second point is, can we imagine the effect of pandemic to Indonesian small culinary business if we don't have GoFood? I mean, we know how a lot of these small business were being helped and assisted immensely because they are part of the GoFood experience. Now we come to our visual artist, Ari Bajuaji. Ari, could you tell me your ongoing, what are you doing at this moment, your ongoing project, and how that project, basically an art project, turn into a social and ecological project that involve the local fishermen?
First, thank you so much for having me here. It's very good. I'm very happy to be given a platform to talk about my project. The project started during the pandemic time actually, and the pandemic time basically giving me opportunity to do some researches about Balinese culture, because I was kind of isolated at the beginning. So I learned a lot about Balinese cultures and how resilient Balinese during all of these years. It doesn't matter like how many, maybe 100 million tourists come to Bali, and also influences from other islands outside of Bali. And is not a privilege. I didn't want to just sit down and doing my paintings like cool artists. So I decided to walk a lot, like on the beach, on the street. And it was very depressing for me to see like how desperate so many people in my area, especially like Denpasar and Sanur especially. And then I remember that I collected a lot of plastic ropes from the Sanur beach from my other projects, my previous projects. And then I talked to people there, and then by chance I met a lady who was doing like a hand weaving fabric at the front of like a very small art shops. And then I talked to them, and then they were really sad because they have no tourists. They don't have even money to buy the cotton threads anymore. And then I give a challenge to the lady, like, what about if we are continuing to weave the plastic threads that deconstructed from bigger plastic ropes? So the bigger plastic ropes that thrown away from the ocean that mostly stuck in the mangrove roots around Mertasari mangroves area. And then I showed it to her, and with her boss and her friends, we started to open up all the ropes and clean them up. And then together we were learning how to weave the plastic ropes. So until now, we are still working on the weaving with like a bigger hand weaving machine, usually for undak weaving. So we're doing it until now. But again, because of the project, so many people in the end, they came up to me. They were asking, can we give some helps? Because, for example, like some fishermen, even though they have some good fresh fish, they could not sell it, especially for like the ladies on the stores or like little art shops along the beach. They don't have money anymore. So the fishermen could not sell their products. And also there are no many restaurants that can buy their fresh fish from the ocean. And then I talked with them, and now there are 5 fishermen helping me to find some plastic ropes from the oceans. So slowly we are creating kind of a movement. So, and then I had a problem with the financial. Yes, some of them, they said like, why you can just give me for us to buy rice. So at the beginning it was okay. And then I started to get a bit panicking. And then I posted my project at my social medias, Instagram and Facebook. Thank God about the social media. So finally, I have some collectors and some friends that very happy to help me to support this project. So I didn't sell the products, the artwork as an artwork to them. I just kind of exchange. It's like barter, like long time ago, how we do the. So basically, I give them the artworks, and then I got some money to support this project. So until now, I have around 15 people helping me, and I'm very happy that all of them that mostly lost the job during this pandemic can be a little bit more independent with this project. And almost half of them actually they are students, because now they have like a online education. They're like working at home mostly, and sometimes they play games too much. And I said to them, why don't you try to make money? Maybe I'm getting old, so I get really bothered by the kids playing games in the middle of the night. So like some of the students, I gave them some plastic ropes to be opened up, to be unrevealed, and then they can earn money bit by bit now. And then the very good news is that some institution like in Canada, in Australia, they are interested to show the artworks that produced by this good projects. So I'm very happy that some important institutions like museums, galleries, they are interested to show the work in the near future. Unfortunately, no good art institution in Indonesia interested in this project. Actually, I'm kind of disappointed, but maybe they are waiting. So yeah.
The ministry will be interested.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much. But thank you.
That's interesting.
Thank you very much.
I mean, the vice ministers already said the ministry is
Thank you.
interested. Please, I would like to join your project also.
I will be happy.
So thank you, Ari. Now I will get back to Ibu Victoria and also Dr. Sukit. So this will be a question on policies. Ibu,
Yes.
what can you tell us the policies that have been implemented, devised or designed by the ministry to help the MSMEs, and how effective those policies actually are? Thank you, Ibu.
Yes, to deal with the economic impact of the COVID pandemic, firstly, in the beginning, the government issued Perpres, President Regulation number 72 to 2020. The government allocated a budget to help to handling this problem. It numbers 695.2 trillion rupiahs. It divided to supporting SMEs, also micro. Its amount 123.4 trillion rupiahs. Also for health sector, 87 trillion. For social protection, 200 trillion. Tax incentive, 100 trillion. Sector and local government, 100.11 trillion, and also to help corporate finance, it's about 53 trillion rupiahs. The other policies that government provide is any action to growing up the SMEs, as I mentioned before that 46% of the SMEs stop their business. So to mitigate and make them survive, government provide tax incentive, loan relaxation and structuring, and also expanding financing access, do digitalization, expanding market, and also give government cash aid for micro and SMEs. And the second level is to reactivate the SMEs. The government open opportunity in green area, in green province or district to give the SMEs open their business. Surely they must follow the health protocol. Also, bring them onboarding to the digitalization, and also give training and mentoring, of course, in online, not meet in physics. The last one, to redevelop and also support the SMEs sustain their business. The government provide global certification. As we know, if they want to sell their product in the marketplace, the consumer must finish that this product is good, healthy, and others, so that the government give global standardization to the small business if they want to sell their products in the marketplace. And also the government provide micro and SMEs web page in National Public Procurement Agency. This one is for spending product and for government spending. Also, digital market for micro SMEs in state-owned companies in BUMN. The last one, the government also prepare the micro and SMEs doing their business with new normal ways, because it's different before and after pandemic. The program is to improve their human resources capacity through EduKKM, as I mentioned in my speech, edukkkm.id, also through podcasts and webinar series. We also have Spark Campus, New Normal video series, and also we have a micro and SMS foster sister program. And to improve their business model, government, especially the Ministry Cooperatives of SMEs, provide legal aid center for SMEs affected by COVID-19, also bring them to Spark Track, and also provide shopping in neighbors stall program. To expanding market access, the government provide a catalog and brochure, because we already teach them to go online. So we put their product in a catalog and a brochure. And also we optimization of the micro SMEs integrated business service center. We name it PLUT. They are in 27 provinces. They will help and mentoring the SMEs to go digital and marketed their product, the SMS product. Also, we glorification, proud of Indonesian products. Last May, our President Jokowi has launching the Bangga Buatan Indonesia, proud of Indonesian product, to encourage people, especially Indonesian people, to buy, use, and proud of Indonesian product. And it will running well. And also now we provide exhibition. No, not physical exhibition, but online exhibition, virtual exhibition, and we facilitated them to promote their product in this exhibition, and also we do Smesco as a center of excellence for SMEs. So SMEs can learn any ways about the business to the Smesco, and there are some mentors to help them to growing up their business. And the last one, we also now looking for the local heroes, and also looking for the local application, local brand, to state that small business product also in district or province can enter in the global market. That's the way or government policy to supporting the SMEs. So the point is the policies and program is focused to improve the competitiveness of the Indonesian SMEs, so they can lead in the local, national, even and global market.
Ibu Victoria, the ministry clearly has an evaluation mechanisms to find out whether those programs are effective or not. Could you tell me the result?
Yes, surely not at all the program running well. We know Indonesia is very big country, and much of SMEs are in the village. It's difficult, especially for digitalization. The infrastructure is not running well. That's why we ask Ministry of Communication to provide internet better in the district, because in the district we have resources, good resources, and fit for the abroad, also Indonesian consumer in a big city. It's an opportunity for SMEs to provide product, but we have a testimony from the SMEs now. They were very happy because the government give more attention, like give them credit and also facilities to go digital, and also the mentor. They very need the mentor. We need more mentor. That's why next year our government will allocate it budget for mentor more bigger than this year.
Thank you, Ibu Victoria.
Sorry,
Yes?
I have said that this last May, our president have launched the BBI. Since BBI launched in May, the target SMEs go online 2,000 last December, but now we have monitor that there is 2.7 million. So excess from our target. It is one of the good impact.
Thank you, Ibu Victoria. Now, similar question to Dr. Sukit in Thailand. What kind of policy implemented by the government in trying to assist the MSMEs during this pandemic, and how effective they are? But Dr. Sukit, I learned that you have a brief visual presentation you would like to share with us.
Okay.
Please do so.
Yes, thank you very much, MC. By the way, let me explain the panel first about the policy. But I'm the consulting to the Ministry of Industry, so I'm the implementation team. After got the policy, like Ibu Victoria, like I think all the country, every country use the same practice to calm down, to do some resolution to help the people. Even wherever you are, you need to have the living, okay? But in my policy, I take the concept to help the employers about the M size and the small size, the micro in other ministry taking care. The project, I got it, we call chain to chip, okay? Chain to chip is mean it's time for you to change, but how? It doesn't mean that when you got the effect of the COVID-19, you sit still and no move. No, you need to come back to yourself. Take this time of when you talking about the team first. The owner of the company must sit down and talk where you can stop the bleeding. You cannot get any income earning no more, but how you can save yourself is to save your expense. Second, talk about your employee team who going to be with you or who going to be the quit and back to the home to save the life there. We talk about this. The one who still be there, start to do the training 3-step to reskill, to upskill, or to do the new skill of the training to do more efficiency. You can do work by 2 tasks, not multitasking. 2 tasks is enough for them. And then the money, someone say, I volunteer to get 50% of the salary. I will be stay with the company to help company strong enough and pass through this period. Okay, so these projects on the video, we start with the research first. We got more than the whole countries through the Chamber of Commerce. The members applied to the campaign, get the research. Top 2 of the result from the research, they need collateral money for their company. Second, they have request for where can sell the products that put into the stock of the last quarter that they are prepared. They want to launch, but the pandemic app blocked them. After that, I start to call every specialist who passed the experience of the period, like economic crisis, financial crisis, the veteran, we call the veteran experience business owner, to come and give some idea through the online course. This online course are called over the one who come and join the program. And within the period, I asked them to give me the business continuity plan, BCP. Short run, you got some problem, any problem that you can solve yourself, give it to me. We give you back with the resolution and put it on the online chatbot. We have the chatbot 24 hours for all the members, for all the employees, for all the business owners, come and talking with our veteran expertise. Then by the end, someone that needs some diversifying, someone want to sell something, we have the online marketplace. We use Facebook as the marketplace and put some product that you want to sell, make it more moving, not stand still like this. So I think this is the period of checking yourself, who can move or who cannot move. You pay yourself. Some employee are, okay, it's time for me to quit, resign, get some compensation, back to home, live at the village. Someone wants to stay at the company, they fight with the owner, and now more than 50% of the company that's passed through this 6 months of the pandemic period, getting better with second job, with second business, or someone start with the startup, like Italo talk about the Gojek. You know, now Gojek now launched in Thailand already. Top 3, Grab, Lalamove, Food Panda, talking about Gojek. Now I'm the members of every brand. I'm taking food 24 hours. Even the nighttime, we are talking about the food delivery. It is a good business. And most of the SME now moving them company like the garment, like the digital chips, electronic, they shift their factory that go down to be food processing company already to serve this economic demand. So let me share you some of the video for about 3 minutes. Let the administrative team put the video first, and then we can come back and make some conclusion. Please sharing the video for me.
โรคระบาดโควิด -19 เป็นวิกฤตเศรษฐกิจที่เลี่ยงไม่ได้เลยนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นทั้งคนตกงานกิจการปิดตัวลงเพราะฉะนั้นแล้วเราจะฟื้นฟูสภาพเศรษฐกิจองค์กรของเราหรือธุรกิจของเราได้อย่างไรท่านได้เริ่มจากตัวเราก่อนลุกขึ้นมาปรับตัวครับพลิกมุมมองใส่กลยุทธ์พลิกวิกฤตครั้งนี้ให้กลายเป็นโอกาสโครงการปรับแผนกลยุทธ์องค์กรฝ่าวิกฤตตีพร้อม Change to Shift สุดง่ายและได้ผลแน่นอนครับการเรียนออนไลน์เนี่ยก็เปรียบเสมือนหลักสูตรจริงไม่ว่าจะเป็นหลักสูตรของ BPCDR เป็นวิธีที่จะบอกว่าเราจะค้นหาแนวทางแผนในการแก้ปัญหาธุรกิจกับกูรูตัวจริงแน่นอนครับว่ากูรูต่างๆเหล่านี้เป็นผู้ที่เชี่ยวชาญชั้นนำระดับประเทศและพร้อมที่จะพาทุกคนเนี่ยฝ่าวิกฤตครั้งนี้แบบที่เรียกว่ารู้ลึกรู้จริงเริ่มกันที่ก้าวข้ามวิกฤตอย่างมั่นคงด้วยแผนกลยุทธ์ขององค์กรระดับมืออาชีพ
เราก็คงต้องกลับไปดูว่าความต้องการของตลาดมันเปลี่ยนไปแค่ไหน
ต่อด้วยติดอาวุธครบมือในองค์กรเพื่อก้าวข้ามวิกฤตกายพร้อมใจพร้อมเสริมจิตเติมแกร่งให้กับทีมทำงานและเครือข่ายคอนเนคชั่นทั้งระบบห่วงโซ่ธุรกิจภายในองค์กรหรือ Industry Capacity Management วิชั่นก็เป็นเรื่องที่สำคัญนะครับมองกว้างทำได้ไกลด้วยดิจิทัลเทคโนโลยีในระบบแผนกลยุทธ์องค์กรหลังวิกฤตหรือ Industry Digital Management และสิ่งที่จะขาดไม่ได้เลยกับหัวข้อป้องกันปรับปรุงเปลี่ยนแปลง ของปัจจัยเสี่ยงและการสร้างระบบมาตรฐานให้ทันเวลาในการทำแผนกลยุทธ์ขององค์กรหลังวิกฤตที่เราเรียกกันว่า Industry Risk and Standard Management เตรียมพบกับปัญหาที่แก้ได้อย่างง่ายๆโดยการฝากคำถามเพื่อหาคำตอบจากระบบ Imaginate Chatbot จากทีมที่ปรึกษามากกว่า 30 ท่านในแขนงต่างๆใน 24 ชั่วโมงและที่สำคัญคือเรามีที่ปรึกษาเชิงลึกธุรกิจ SME Turnaround ที่เคยพลิกธุรกิจจากวิกฤตให้สามารถอยู่รอดได้มามากกว่า 100 ธุรกิจสมัครร่วมโครงการได้ที่เว็บไซต์ change2shift.com หรือสแกน QR Code ที่เห็นอยู่ตรงนี้นะครับก้าวไปอยู่จุดสูงสุดของความอยู่รอดครั้งนี้ด้วยบันไดแห่งความสำเร็จรอต้อนรับอยู่ที่ Change to Shift เรียนครบจบส่งแผนรอดแน่นอน
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let me give it brief to you. This campaign, it take about 4 months. Start with the research. Apply. All the members is more than 600 companies that come apply it, do the BCP, and we help them for 24-hour consulting. And right now, most of the campaign is adjourned already. We help them second phase, bring their BCP plan to help the collateral money injection to the company, training, and find a way to clear their stock by the end of the year. That's how the projects from the government, some kind like this, more than 2,000 campaign around every minister, give it to all the team. I think most of the team quite happy with the campaign for the short ad hoc period for the immediate time. And the results come quite good because they know the way, they feel that at least they know how to diversify their products from the no hope to new startup. This is the way of my idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sukit. Change to shift. I think that's the key word. Pak Dani, I would like to ask question to Pak Dani Wildan from BRI. I know that most of the BRI clienteles are MSMEs, in fact. So I want to know what kind of obstacles or challenge that BRI have to cope with in trying to assisting MSMEs.
Okay, of course, one is time concern because we have to work so fast, encounter all problems that MSMEs had or having now. So we have like race with the time because we don't want to miss the opportunity to help them. And because we having large numbers of clients or customers or debtors, so it's addressed to certain difficulty to reach them in the same time. And the other is especially for disburse the grants for our client is the quality of data. Sometimes we facing the data is not really clean, so we facing the difficulty to find the person that need help. So we have we provide by data, but sometimes the data is not really good. So that's addressed to some difficulty to find the target of our programs, including the productive aid for micro segments. Yeah, we sometimes facing that the data is not really clear, but fortunately it's not really in big numbers. So mostly we having no problem with find the customers, but small number still have bad data. And of course, the diversity of client needs also bring some difficulty too. But we have now, we're developing some application. So as MSME can like fill up some data on our application. The application is like self-assessment. So Bank Rakyat Indonesia can identify what the MSME needs to upgrade the capability, because the needs is vary from one to other. So to answer that, we developing some application, and during pandemic, not less than 25,000 participants join our program for capacity or capability upgrading. We invite more than 200 experts on mentor or certified mentor to help the MSME to upgrade the skill or capability. Of course, we not doing this by ourselves. We having partner with government, the central government, the local government, with the university, and we have rumah BUMN or state-owned house that deliver many trainings, many coaching, mentoring for MSME. We have around 55 outlets of state-owned house of BUMN, and we also have partnership with local government, Central of Education for SME. So we hope everything we've done or have been done until now will help MSME to survive and doing some improvement to make the business back to the track and keep surviving during pandemic and after pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Dhani. Now, I would like to ask the head of Bali Tourism Office, Pak Putu Astawa. Right now, we are in the middle of the program, the massive familiar tour program involving more than 4,000 people. Can you explain a bit about that? And then the second question from Keija Haryanja, one of the participants, is that is there any cooperation between Pemprov Bali and Asosiasi Pengusaha Bali to support the digital transformation for Bali MSEs?
According the local government policy, because small enterprises, problem of the
we are experiencing a technical glitch. Please bear with us while we are trying to resolve the problem.
check. Yes,
silakan, Pak.
Okay, yeah. According to our local government policy, that the big problem for the SMS in Bali is a market, yeah. And other to become, we done Friday market, each office, and also in the private office also, the buyers come from the civil servant, something like that, every Friday. Yeah? The second one, we do also the virtual exhibition, yeah, to make the more market, yeah. And also a request to the national government to conduct all the meeting. Please come to Bali like right now, and please we express my grateful thanks to our national government that many institutions from Jakarta that's already conducted a meeting in Bali. Yeah, that really nice support for me. Yeah. And also we done a business meeting with buyer from Jakarta and the sellers from the local government to recovery for the our economic, yeah, especially for the SMS, and of course acceleration for the government spending. Yeah, we already done any infrastructure budget from government, national government also, like harbor in Sanur to Nusa Penida. More than 350 million. Yeah, that's very much. I think that. And according in your question, that I appreciate with the private sector can collaboration with me to improve our digital technology. Yeah, because that's good chance to improving our SMS to capacity to the what we say like marketplace, something like that. Yeah, and of course already done more than 4,400 local tourism. Yeah, they pay for the hotel, transportation, including the ticket. Yeah, we done until the end of the November. Yeah, and hope that activity will improve the income for the labor in the hotel, guide and transportation, also in the destination object, yeah, for tourism also. Yeah, many things the local government do, but the important thing, what we say, social safety net, of course, yeah, it's depend on our local government. More than 750 million, yeah, we already do for to support like food subsidy, yeah, and also what we say direct payment for the people who lose jobs, something like that, and salary subsidized also, especially for the salary under the 5 million. We do every month, yeah, until 6 months, yeah. There's many things, yeah, we do already to recovery for the Bali economic and other to become on the third quarter, I think we can improve 1.60% improving the economic growth, yeah, compared with the second quarter. Yeah, that is good for me. That means the what we say like yeah, good program, yeah, something like that.
Thank you, Pak Putu. Now we return to Mrs. Afpi in Fiji. Mrs. Afpi, there's a question from one of the participants, and this is from GR. He posed a question via YouTube. He would like to know what is the daily condition in Fiji during the pandemic. And the second question is, do SMEs in Fiji get fundings to survive COVID crisis? Government funding, it must be. Silakan, Mrs. Api.
Yes. There was a grant that was given by government, and MSMEs have to apply for it. And there wasn't much. It was about 1,000 Fijian dollars. But I think
it's a one-time grant, or
it's a one-time grant just for this, and I think it was out in the paper about May. It was applied, and I think by July, whoever applied and they think they should get it were given that money. But I think the training is very important rather than giving the money, as I see it, because you need to really develop the mindset of MSMEs to be able to survive. They really need to identify, they have to understand that they are capable of identifying the problems that they're going through. And I think one of our speakers spoke about better use of what we have available to us, you know. So with the grant that was given to some of the MSMEs, it has to be followed through by the Ministry of Trade to make sure that they're able to utilize it well. But something that comes loud in this forum that we are sitting on right now is the fact that we need to make use of what's currently available to us and who is available to us this time. If we know Fiji, like Indonesia, like Bali, we have resources. We have our own resources. And if you're thinking like an entrepreneur, you can't be thinking like a business person, because an entrepreneur can change a piece of trash into dollar. And I think this is the bottom line for a lot of MSMEs at the moment, to really understand that they need to have a different way of thinking. They need to change the way they think. They need to overcome and learn from the setbacks that they've had. They need to be able to succeed in a variety of settings, and self-motivate yourself to be able to handle what it is that you have. We have markets that are available, that we see a lot of new markets that are opening out in the weekends, even on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, allowing an opportunity for our MSMEs to be able to sell what it is that they're doing. So for me personally, I feel that as long as the biggest employer in Fiji, which is the civil service, as long as they don't lay off their workers, we have money to spend so that we can buy things from the market. A lot of private sector have sent home some of their staff. A lot of private sector have reduced hours just to make sure that things keep going. Some of the private sector are closing some of the services that they are doing, but they want to make sure that things keep going. But I think the bottom line for a lot of MSME in Fiji is to really learn the business world, to learn what is happening on the other side. I'm learning a lot as I'm listening to this forum, and which may be able to help us recover from where we are. We need to ask ourselves, how is my family situation? How is my money situation at the moment? What is currently available to me? Who is currently available to me? Plant my own food. I don't have to buy anything. Use whatever is currently available in my backyard to generate an income for me. Because if we have to be entrepreneurs, we don't rely on money. We need to rely on our initiative to make sure that the piece of trash that sits at the back can be turned into dollars. Another thing that I'm finding out is a number of entrepreneurs that are there, a number of businesses that are there that found out that they're not able to survive at this time. They're looking at researchers that are available at university to trial it out, to see if it works, as they look to diversify their business. But they're moving one step at a time. And I think that's something that we need to learn to do now. Move one step at a time. If we need to change direction, then we'll change direction. But we need to hold hands and move together.
Thank you, Mrs. Api. We need to hold hands and move together. I think this is a very strong message. And I think Fiji shares one important thing with Indonesia. Mrs. Api just mentioned that the biggest employers in Fiji is the civil service, and that to a large extent help the economy survive this pandemic. Now I would like to ask Mr. Italo Gani. Mas Italo, this is a question from one of the participants, Mr. Subur Riyadi. So the question is, as the current level of digital literacy is still low in this country, in your opinion, what is the best way to educate SMEs for digital transformation? Silakan, Mas.
Yeah, thank you. So I think, yes, I think currently, if you see last year, from 100% of before COVID, yeah, 100% of internet user in Indonesia, only around 15 to 20% have experienced an e-commerce transaction. Meaning out of these 80% never experienced an e-commerce transaction. So there is actually very small number of people actually quite savvy to use the e-commerce. For sure, nowadays, e-commerce become very common. All the mothers doing online groceries over all these startups, buying the groceries to this like startup who empower pasar like Tumbasin, Payo ke Pasar, tukangsayur.co. Now all the mothers understand, like the word Zoom last year was nobody understand what is Zoom. Now everybody is like Zoom become a very common word that let's have a Zoom, yeah. So, but yes, the digital literacy of the, when we talk about the MSME also is a challenge, especially what Ibu Victoria also mentioned. The infrastructure in certain areas are very limited. Yeah. So I think, but if we understand Indonesia, now everybody has a phone. Everybody have this, I call it China-made, very low-end smartphone, have an internet, have a quite big size of screen. Yeah. So actually, so people already have, which is previously before the e-commerce era, probably they're using it only for Facebook, just for chatting. But nowadays, you know, if you see like all these object driver, they used to have a phone just for calling, but now the phone is their life. They need to be the phone to be active 24 hours because this is where they get compensated, get the salary for their families. Yeah. So I think we need to make it as simple as possible. That's why I mentioned a company like Bolu, who actually you don't need like very sophisticated tool to do online learning, and it's through a WhatsApp group. And I was amazed like 3 years ago when I met the founder of Bolu, actually having all these online course over WhatsApp. Now they're already running like 14,000 students, and they produce one of the great online sellers in Tokopedia, in Facebook. Yeah. So some are already generate billions of transactions actually. And these people are coming from Pacitan, Lampung, Surabaya. So I believe the key, as Mrs. Api said, is the mindset. It's all about the mindset. Everything is there already. We have YouTube, we have a lot of information. We have Google, we have a lot of information. But the mindset, especially the entrepreneur mindset, that's actually very, very important. Because when you have the mindset, you can actually combine all these ingredients of online infrastructures. And yeah, I think we need to have more like startup like Bolu, who actually introduce people how to be online. Actually, if you see Tokopedia, for example, Tokopedia, 80% of Tokopedia merchants are new business owners. So meaning only 20% who has, this is last year, yeah, when they have only 20% actually is the one that already have a business offline and moving to online. So meaning the challenge also when this SME is run by people like old people that doesn't understand digital or doesn't open their self in digital, that's also very challenging. It happened also in GoFood. There is a lot of these new, I think if even in Bali, in Canggu area, there's always, okay, I'm a good chef, I can cook. Okay, I don't need to open a restaurant anymore. I don't have the money to run a land in Brawa, which is super expensive. So, okay, I just need a kitchen in somewhere in Denpasar and put all my food in GoFood, and I can become an entrepreneur. So I think at the end it's all about the mindset of entrepreneur. That's actually as basic as that. And I think if you have this spirit of entrepreneurship and you have everything online, especially now all this government already empower the digitalization. So I see actually all these amazing people that been doing the real digital transformation, like all these people that convert their business to online. So at the end, it is I think I'm this digital economy. This one of the industry has a lot of jargons. In 3 months, we come up with new jargons. It's actually scary for all these, all these people. So I think we need to educate the market with the very basic concept. What is digital transformation? So digital transformation is just a tweaking or a disrupting a business process to become more efficient using the technology. So technology happen later after you have the business model. So it's not about hiring a tech guy or having a tech, but it's all about the business process, how you serve your customers or how you work with your vendors. It's different now. It's through remote, and how to use all this. You use WhatsApp, you have Zoom, you have everything, and you kind of combine all, and you can run your business online. Yeah.
Thank you, Mas Italo. So basically, technology is just a tool. The spirit of entrepreneurship is the core of the digital transformation. Now, I would like to ask Ari, what do you want to achieve? Your objectives in this art project. And then the second question is from one of the participants. It is a rather philosophical question, not a technical one. That's why I throw it at the artist. In your opinion, this is a question from Mr. Wisnu via chat. In your opinion, after this pandemic comes to a close, what should be the first step to take as a global community so that we are better prepared for the next pandemic and becoming more resilient to crisis? Silakan.
Okay, yeah, thanks. First of all, I would like to show some images of my project.
Sudah bisa? Okay, while we are waiting, can you answer the first question?
Oh, the first question, yeah, my goal. Actually, during my researches about Balinese culture, I would like to really show Balinese because I really love Balinese culture. So I want to show Balinese that so many things around us in Bali actually can be used for many things like food, and then also handicraft, or also kind of yeah, almost everything for our daily life. And also when I started to do this, weaving, I just wanted to remind people here that long time ago, our ancestors started the production using natural sources. For example, like for weaving, lots of Balinese people long time ago, they used the banana fibers, you know, from the tree, and then they dried it up and they beating up, and then with the fiber they can use for the weaving and also for the dye to color all the fabrics. Long time ago, Balinese using the natural resources. Why I'm using the plastic? Because at the moment plastic is like one of our biggest contemporary problems, and how plastic becoming a big part of our nature, actually our nature, even in our food these days, you know. So that's what I really want to show, that our nature give us so many resources. And then, yes, tourism industry is very important, but I think without art and culture, Bali would be nothing. So I think I would love the government and also the people in Bali to start work again with the nature and their own culture. I think that's the goal.
Sudah bisa?
Yeah. So yeah, I would like to show some of the images from the project. So please, we can show the material from the mangrove area, the plastic groups from the mangrove area that.
So let's continue.
So yeah, I mean, like, because during the pandemic, I walk a lot. I met so many people on the street. I heard lots of people complaining about the downturn of tourism industry.
Not the weeping one, but the one that shows the trash in the mangrove area.
So yeah, wait, I will continue first. A lot of people complaining about the downturn of tourism. And then the very first thing I asked to them, actually, do you know what? At the very first time, the tourists came to Bali not because of the nice hotels, not because of the nice buildings. I think it's because of the culture, the nature and the culture. So I think, yeah, I think we should push this in the education of Balinese children, I think. Terima kasih. So yeah, the first picture will be the material from the mangrove. This is around Mertasari mangrove area. Udah. Yeah. So it's pretty scary, actually. Like so many plastic ropes like that were thrown away to the ocean by maybe by the fishermen, the big ships at the harbor, and it ended up at the mangrove area and stuck in the roots of the mangroves. So slowly, actually, they kill the mangroves trees because it can, during the high tide, it can really pull the mangrove roots. And the second one, please help me with the plastic threads after we clean it. This one, yeah. So after we clean it carefully, like so many times. So this one, it's seperti benang jadi ya. So it's like the fine threads. And then we join them one by one with hand to create longer threads. so we can put it in the loom. So we please show the process with the weaving process. So I work together closely with Ibu Desak. She's been really, really patient. So we've been solving lots of problems together. So, and then we learn a lot from each other, but yeah, and then I learned how to do the weaving, but I was helpless. It was too difficult. So yeah, and then the final artwork, please. Yes. So from the plastic rubbish in the mangrove area and on the ocean, we finally could create this beautiful piece of fabrics. So it's a long process, and then we have to be also very careful. So yeah, and the second one, I think. So at the beginning, it was not easy at all. So after a few months, we get the rhythm. We also know how to mix color, how to create kind of color compositions. So when we heard about Christian Dior going to wear endek for their next collection, we were so excited. This is great. Like, I mean, like, it's a good news. So we are also happy. But this one, we created it with the real Balinese technique of weaving endek like Papa wears, and yeah, this is also endek. So that's it. Yeah.
So the second question, the philosophical one.
Yeah.
What need to be done as a global community? What's the first step?
I think the first step to me is our relationship with our surroundings, with people around us, and with the nature. I think we have to look out for each other all the time. I think that's the very basic things. When we are nice to our neighbors, when we are nice to our nature, I think life will be easier, because I have witnessed what we are facing at the moment.
Thank you, Ari. I think that's a very resounding message, especially in the time of pandemic that has forced us to isolate ourselves from our friends, our acquaintance, and basically our surrounding. Distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the end of our plenary sessions. And hopefully, the enlightening points offered by all our 7 speakers somehow provide us with a common understanding about things that need to be done. Some of those points are the need for collaboration. Others, the need to work together. Another point is the necessity and the certainty of digital transformation. But deep in the hidden layers of all these important points of change, of adaptations, of trying to find new horizon, of trying to be entrepreneurs, is a human heart that do not kneel, that refuse to surrender to challenge, even a challenge as terrifying as the COVID-19 pandemic. The human heart that my dear friend Ari said is based on 2 things: natures and cultures. Only a human soul that can build connections, a true, genuine connection with his or her natures, his or her cultures, would be able to survive whatever challenge the world bring in. So with this statement, I would like to congratulate all our 7 speakers. Please, a big round of applause for them and for their contributions. And with those, I officially close this plenary session. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to all of the speakers and also our moderator of the day, Mr. Wayan Juniarto. Please give another round of applause for our moderator of the day. I'm very happy to inform you that during this event, we have received so many questions from our online participants, from Zoom and also from YouTube. Therefore, as a token of appreciation, the committee will give souvenir for 5 active participants. The first one will be Mr. GR from YouTube. The second one, Mr. K. Jaharianja from YouTube. The third one is Mr. Subur Riyadi. The fourth one, Miss Cairo Genia Utama. And the last one is Mr. Sihol Edison Sitorus. For these lucky participants, please fill out the attendance form so we can send out the souvenirs to you. Excellencies, distinguished panelists and moderators, ladies and gentlemen. As we have come to the end of our event, we would like to thank for your participation in this event. We would also like to thank the Ministry of Cooperative and SMEs and BRE for the support provided for this event. Once again, I would like to thank all the participants who joined us today on site and virtually. It is our fervent hope that this event will support the empowerment of MSMEs so we could achieve inclusive and sustainable economic recovery. Once again, I wish you all good health and hopefully we could meet again someday, not virtually, but here in Bali. Thank you and a very good afternoon to all.